Czekaj, kilka. What is this?
Virtual ini kata.
Adesso ne fa come?
Oh, virtual su.
Connect me. It doesn't work here.
Lagi?
We have the history. The cup small.
Actually.
Inch. Umbrella?
Boleh?
No, okay.
All right, guys. So let's get started. Hi. How was the break? I'm seeing a lot of smiling faces. Like I'm pretty sure the break was really nice, right? It was almost 2 months. What did you guys do? Like someone who wants to tell me something that they did during this break. Simon, pick somebody. Someone you think had the most fun. Who? Can't just like Bisrat? Okay. So Bisrat, what did you do over the break? Okay. How was the internal hackathon? Did you get some new knowledge? Did you experience new stuff? Was cool. Yeah. Good. Anybody else? I think Lakewood, right? Hi. What did you do over the break? You teached? Ooh, what did you do? What did you teach? They say? Okay.
Aside from that, I didn't do much. We had some school. Some projects.
Okay.
For my free time, I used to watch a series called like House of Dragons.
House of Dragons?
Yeah. That was cool.
I've heard about it, but like I don't watch movies that much, so it was nice. By the way, let's have a round of applause for Lakewood for what you did during the break. Okay, what else? What did you guys do? Who wants to get into product development? No one? Who's going to develop the products? Okay, UI. No one wants to learn UI? No one trying to, no. We're starting from product. No one wants to be product creative. Dagi?
Yes.
No one wants to join the UI track.
That is really a very unfortunate here. Nobody has an eye for design here. Anybody? But yeah, I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but what people actually see when, in software development is what they see in front of them. So I really feel like it's something that you guys can push or pursue your careers into. Gaila, I don't know why you put me on the spotlight like this.
Because you're the social media team and you work with a lot of UI.
From my experience, for my internship, I was actually part of the UI UX team, and definitely having some knowledge in that aspect as well. We definitely have something to contribute to your career. So some of you maybe interested in the visual aspect of things. So definitely it's really good. Especially for more information, you guys can actually refer to the Google UX certificate provided on Coursera. Definitely for your career identity, it's going to be a very good thing to pursue. So do not disregard it entirely. That's my recommendation for you.
Thank you, Raj. How about the web team? What are you guys gonna join? I'm just saying. Okay, web team. Right? Yay, the web team. A part of the web team. So we only got 5 people for the web team. Okay, mobile. Let's go for mobile. No one wants to join the mobile truck. It's just raising hands, guys. Come on, mobile. Right? How about backend? So no, what are you guys here for? Okay, let me start from wave again. This time, raise your hands, right? Just one hand. Wave. Okay, that's more than the last one. Mobile. Do we have any mobile track members here, by the way, from the hits? No one from the mobile team? I would like it if you call somebody and show them. Okay, what about backend? Okay, for backend. Without the UI? Okay, so we're just gonna make it a fair one, I guess. And no one wants to join the mobile track. You sure about that? Okay, whose choice is like? Is there anyone that has mobile as the second choice? Second choice? Okay, the web teams are mobile is your second choice. Anybody else? Mobile is second choice. Okay. Backend is the first one for you guys. Okay. Product. You just do basic product development stuff. Do the user stories, like the research and so on. Market research. Yeah. Huh? Hardware? No. It's actually, most people say it's actually like the main part of the software development process, because if you don't do the market research right, and if you don't do everything else like for the product, it might not be worth it, right? So, yes, how was the internal hackathon? So we don't have anyone from like the Hyperlink team, right? I think Abdul Fattah, is that you? No, I was just looking for you guys, and I wanted to want you guys to give some experience. Right. By the way, can we also have a round of applause for the Hyperlink team, the only team from AIT that represented us? Good job, guys. Right, for people that came late, we were just talking about how the break was, how the internal hackathon went, and also which track you want to join. So I saw Fraul just get in, right? How was the break? What did you do? Okay. You were one of the winners of the internal hackathon, right? So how was that experience? How was the internal hackathon? Guys, come on, keep it down. Unexpected in what ways? Yeah. That's really nice. Which track do you want to join? What? Why not? Oh, because of the internship. Which track were you on? Wave. Okay, that's also a good one. Yeah. So it turns out we have no one from who wants to join the mobile. Still, no one from the mobile track. Come on, get someone. Get one hit from the mobile track. Look, get him. So I asked like how many people wanted to join the mobile team backend and web. So no one raised their hand for the mobile. And for the second choice, 2 people raised their hand, or 4 people. I guess 4 people yes, raised their hand. So what is so bad about mobile? Can we get that? Okay. Right. Did you guys settle into the dorms? Do you like the dorm? Okay. I guess this question is for the girls. Did you guys settle into the dorms, to the 6K dorms? So everyone is together, right? That's the best we can do. Okay, maybe let's get some opinion from the girls. Hera, how was the break? How was the internal hackathon? Huh? Yeah, okay. For the backing track, okay. Yes, everybody wants to do the backing for some reason. Yes, a literal fight, I guess. Yes. So can we do what we did here before? How many people wants to join the mobile track? Just look. Okay, I think we got more people for the backend. So I guess the backing team has an expectation to live up to. A lot of people wants to join the backend. The backing track hits. You gotta make it the best one.
Okay, started. Okay, team, we're waiting for Emre. He's in the building. He's the one who's going to be giving us the opening speech. So
We can go through.
maybe until then, we can go through the outline for our today's event. And hopefully in the next 3-4 minutes, Emery will be joining us. Okay.
Right. So welcome to the G5 project phase opening. I know we talked a lot up until this point, but welcome again. We are really glad to have you back. It's been a while. So let's go through the outline. We're going to be having an opening speech from our CEO. He'll be here shortly. And we're going to be seeing the objectives of the project phase. And we will be going through the timeline, how much time is dedicated for the onboarding, for the assessments, and also for the learning tracks. We're gonna see roles, we're gonna talk about what kind of roles you guys are going to be having, and also we're gonna tell you some things about your responsibilities during this project phase. And also we're gonna continue with our policies during this project phase, and at last we're gonna have a Q&A session. I'm hoping with Embry, right? So let's just give him maybe 2 minutes until he's back, until he's here, and we can continue. Okay, so Embrace here. So let's have an opening speech by him, and we'll come. We can.
All right, thank you very much. Sorry for being late. Because we have you here for a few days, we need to make some arrangements to the rooms. And the Abrehoto didn't arrange all the rooms that they committed. And some of our people were in different parts of library. Therefore, first I had to have a conversation and arrange things. And now they are actually opening more rooms, hopefully. Other A2SVs are also going to have environment to work. Welcome. It's been a while. So we were on a break, right? And you get some personal updates already. So how was it? First, let's get the feelings from a few people. Who visited their family in a different city than Addis Ababa? Can we see hands? Who had some family time? Guys, come on, it's okay. If you went out of Addis Ababa, raise your hand. Okay, we have some people. Yes. How was it? Where did you go? Tell us more about your visit. You were where? Ascender. How far is it from here? 150, like 3 hours bus drive. Not too far. How often do you have a chance to see your family? And how long did you stay there? Like a month. Oh, wow, that's a very decent time. As an ATSVN, you must be very privileged to have 1 month with your family. Maybe you guys should be grateful to the Ministry of Education to do the national exam at the campus, right? Otherwise, you remember, we were planning to start earlier, right? Yes. So team, we were planning to start earlier, but this is how things played out, and now we are having the kickoff. So now let's consider some facts about this kickoff. Number one, what was the original date that we planned this for? Heads, maybe we can get the help from you. Simon, like ballparks, how long ago we were planning to start in person?
I think the first plan was July 7th.
July 7th, right? So I am actually asking about the first plan. Thank you. So why do you think we actually plan to start July 7th? Like today is almost August, guys, July 31st. So 24 days of a delay, right? And why did we plan to start July 7th?
So that they can have more learning time and also more developing.
Because, Tim, the skills that you're about to learn, it takes time to develop them. Okay, this is very important. Anybody who had any experience in farming before, can we see hands? Like maybe through your parents. Guys, 80% of Ethiopians are relying on farm. Come on, it's completely fine. Let's see hands. I've seen a hand here. Yes. So what did you grow? Like, or what happened in the farm? Any crops? Vegetables. Like which vegetable? Which vegetable do you know the most? Cabbage. How long does it take to grow the cabbage from the first moment maybe you plant the seeds to like get it and let's say make it available for people? Like let's say how long does it take for it to be edible, grow? It depends on the seeds, the ones that you guys were using. 3 months. 2 to 3 months for cabbage, guys. Think about that. Even for cabbage to grow, it takes 2 to 3 months. And skills like learning how you can organize things, how you can have effective written communication with your teammates, how you can take effective notes, how you can give effective code reviews, how you can write meaningful, short, concise commit messages. How can you keep your code base tidy? How can you choose the right tools for the right problem? How can you understand the problem from the real stakeholders? All these skills are taking time to grow. So I want to remind all of you guys, all of us, we don't know what we don't know. And it takes time to build those skills. That's why we wanted to start as early as possible. However, in life, you make some plans, but life also has some plans for you, right? And which one overrides? When you have plans and when there is also God's plan, which plan rules? Very obvious, right? So always collaborate with the current. Okay, so today here, yes, we couldn't start on the date that we initially planned, but we actually utilized that time with a very different activity, right? We have done a remote internal hackathon. So how was that experience, guys? Can we see like maybe thumbs up or thumbs down? How was the experience? Can we see it, guys? Please. Everybody, you gotta choose one. This is thumbs up, this is thumbs down. Think about the whole experience. Come on, everyone. Everybody, come on. I see some thumbs up and I see some no messages. Apparently it was a mixed experience, right? So guys, be bold. That may be like some of the things we do are not going to work out very well. Some of the things they were really great about the internal hackathon, some of the things that we can improve. But my question, would you prefer to do it in person or remote? How many people prefers it remote? Can we see hands? How many people prefers it in person? Can we see hands? You see, big majority prefers in person, right? So for that reason, realize now we have the opportunity because now we are together. Now we can learn from each other's best practices. Now we can learn from generative AI. Now we can improve our professionalism. We can sharpen many skills that are going to be super useful in the industry. Because A2SV education's different parts give you skills in different stages of finding jobs, excelling in your career, becoming an effective engineer, technologist. So the project phase is the first exposure you're getting to build real effective engineering skills, guys. So what skills? I'm going to tell you. The ones that I have observed, they are very critical in the success of people who are making careers either in big tech companies or in small top tech organizations. So what are those skills? Number one, communication skills. Because it doesn't matter at what level of this tree you are part of, you are going to communicate. Is there anybody who is like, Emre? No, no, no. In my position at A2SV, as a student, I never have to talk with other people. In our one-on-ones, we communicate with the sign language with my head. He understands. No, 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 Emre, I'm not talking with my parents. You have no idea they are horrible people, so I block them. No, we communicate with all these people that we have in our lives. And that's why to make a greater impact, you need to be a great communicator. This is so important, team. Invest in your communication skills starting from an early age, and you are already doing that. So see this as an opportunity to be able to talk to people. Like for many people, this can be a reason to shy away. How many people feel discomfort speaking in front of public? Can we see hands, team? How many people feel discomfort when you are speaking in front of public? Can we see hands? Guys, it's very normal, like be in peace with yourself, okay? We don't have all skills from the beginning of the world. How many people know swimming? Some people don't know swimming, right? Can we see hands? How many people don't know swimming? This is completely fine. You guys are totally fine. And you can learn if you dedicate some time, if you spend some time in the water, work with somebody who knows, who has experience in teaching this. You can learn. Any of those skills can be learned. You can improve, but you need to understand, you need to expose yourself to the situation. And communication is not just about public speaking. It is very important at every level. Is there anybody who can tell that, Emre, our conversations with our heads in our one-on-ones are not important? Anybody? They definitely help. So communication skills, not just speaking, also written communication skills. You can improve them here. Therefore, I highly recommend everybody, not just recommend, guys, please don't be stupid, because it's being stupid not to practice English when you have the opportunity at A2SV. Okay, I'll be very frank. How many people are speaking in English with their parents? Can we see hands? How about their friends? How often you get exposed to English outside of A2SV? You don't get that exposure that much, and it's very normal. But at A2SV, you have the opportunity, team. Don't you want to be able to speak very well English? Don't you want to express yourself in a very concise and effective manner in the written language? And you have the chance to experience these from the beginning. Put high quality standards for your communication. Pay attention to punctuations. Pay attention to capital case, small case situations. You can do that. After you pay attention, you guys are very smart. The algorithmic problems that you guys are capable of solving actually shows that. Okay? But now it's time to understand it's not about one direction. In life, it's like you are building a chair. Look at these chairs, guys. How many legs do they have? Even this chair needs 4 legs. And look at them. If can you say that this leg is more important than this leg? Huh? Any of those legs that you think it's not necessary? You see? So if you want to become an effective engineer, please pay attention to the soft skills as well. Like, we create this program, we suggest you those skills, like the ones that I mentioned, based on experience. We really want you to excel in your career. So don't have, let's say, unnecessary ego to cherry pick those skills. Expose yourself to all of them. Okay? Learn how to take effective notes. Like, your word per minute speed is important. If it's very low, of course, you cannot capture things. Don't say now there are AI note takers. You never know. You may not be having access to that all the time. You may have to do that. You know, do effective task tracking. Define things well, make them actionable, set smart goals. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bounded. We talked about it before, right? Is there anybody who doesn't remember this concept? Can we see hands? Smart goals. So learn how to work with a team, how to do task distribution, how to do prioritization. Like, you are going to get exposure to all of these guys. And you are getting paid for having this high quality experience. So please see how lucky you are. And you are surrounded with other like-minded, very smart people. You are guided with more experienced people who dedicate their time, instead of trying to do something for themselves, educating next generations. So I want all of us to understand and appreciate the beauty that we have in our hands. So you hear this from me, right? I say our biggest asset is each other. Our biggest asset is each other. It's not because only who we are. It's also because the connections between us, among us. Like, as an organization, we provide value. Otherwise, you guys were students at AAIT, right? Before A2SV, is there anybody? No, Emre, I wasn't a student in AAIT here. No, you were a student. You guys existed. It's not like you come to life with A2SV. But do you see the power of coming together? Huh? How many projects came out of AAIT graduates in the past? And how many projects are we planning for G5, Simon? Or heads? 18. And how many are going to be finishing this process? How many do we expect to continue for the project, like not project phase, for the second year education, for real development experience? 9. Do you see the potential, guys? And look at where core dev projects came. Zelal, and when are we planning to launch those projects? When did they start? Last year, March. So do the math, guys. Last year, March, August. So it's like almost 1.5 years. They are at the launch level. Some of them are not ready yet, and we will wait until they are ready for those as well. But we have like very good, I would say, retention and engagement in AfroChat, in SkillBridge, in Akil. Like 3 of them definitely, things are looking solid that we want to make a strong launch. So see the potential. In 1.5 years, probably less than 1.5 years, we are going to be there. Why? Because we are going to learn from their mistakes. We are going to learn from their best practices as well. Like I was taking a look at some of our notes files. You know, a few days ago, I was looking some of the notes files from the beginning of core dev projects and the current version. Guys, there is a huge improvement. You have no idea how big of a long way we came in terms of improving our task tracking and prioritization system. And now you guys are going to be able to learn the best practices from those guys. Some of the mistakes that they have done, they tell you how not to make them. So do we have a part for Zelalem in this program, guys? Okay, if there is an official part, then I don't have to invite him to the stage. How about an experienced core dev member? No? Okay, then we can bring it for Zelalem's part. Like as we did it as to Biruk, I think it would be really great if our teammates also interact with one of our core dev leaders, as well as our business and product squad lead, Zelalem. So you will learn more. And finally, team, I really want to remind you this. This quarter is super important for A2SV. For many reasons. We are looking to find sponsor for the next education season. Number 1. We are about to launch our core dev projects. Number 2. Therefore, what I'm recommending every A2SV, including you guys, when you do something, ask yourself, is this your best? Is this your best? Let it pass from your filter first. If that's not your best, if there is an area for improvement, please fill that room. If you are in the leading position, ask your teammates when they deliver something, is this your best? As a team, we can step up our game, guys, and this is what exactly we need for this quarter. So please listen your heads, please listen your mentors, and do things with the best practices from the beginning. It will take some time, but at least try. If your intention is that way, it's going to improve. But if you're like, I already know this, I got this, we're not going to go anywhere. Okay? So please, keep your learning pace high, and you can do this by listening your leaders. Thank you very much, team. I hope this is going to be a great project phase. Like now, what I have seen in the other schools, what I am seeing here, this is really exciting. So keep it up. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Emre, for that really inspiring speech. So I would like to invite our head of product and business squad, Zelalem, to the stage to give us some insights.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Zelalem Burhanu, and I'm the head of business and product team here at A2SV. So for your project phase, we've prepared 18 ideas for you guys. So these ideas, they were taken from your hackathon ideas. And we also used the product team in order to come up with ideas that could really, help our stakeholders and address important issues, and also are innovative and feasible for you guys to implement. So these 18 ideas, at the end of your project phase, it will come down to 9 ideas, right? So what will determine those who will pass on to the next stage is dependent on the team. So the very first thing that you have to do is to understand the problem. And before you write a single line of code, the first thing to do is to understand your problem, to understand what the core issue is, to understand who the core stakeholders are, and how your solution will better their lives. So, yeah, okay, so what was I asked the question? I see, yeah, so understanding the problem is the very first step of your project phase. So how do you understand your problem? It's by conducting interviews and collecting feedbacks. So best practice says that in order to come up with a product that really addresses the problem that you aim to solve, you have to conduct at least 200 interviews. So 200 interviews might seem a lot, but you guys are a team, right? And there are different methods of collecting your interviews. It can be through a direct in-person session, or it could be through surveys or other data collection methods online. So after you guys do that and you collect 200 interviews for your specific problem, then you have a really good sense of what the problem is and how it affects your target market. So so understanding the problem and then moving on to the market research is the very first step to implement a really viable solution for your market. And the one problem that most founders have is that they fall in love with their products. And what this means is that they try to find a market for their product instead of going the other way and finding a product for their market. So there's a high chance of failing if you're trying to find a market for your products, because you're trying to force your market to fall in love with the product just as you did. So that's not the way things should be done. It should be the other way around. Once you understand your stakeholders, once you understand their problems, then it will be easy for you guys to find a solution for them and find a product that fits with their day-to-day lives and their problems. So I hope you guys will definitely enjoy tackling these 18 ideas. And as the product team, we are always there to help you guys. We'll be working together, especially in the very first stages of conducting market research, implementing what features would be best for your stakeholders. So we'll be working together closely with my team. And I hope you guys enjoy your project phase. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'll be here. Okay. Any questions, by the way? No?
Simon, can you check if someone from Codef is here? Okay, in the meantime, let's continue with the objectives of the project phase. Right. So the first objective is developing real-world problem-solving skills. So we're going to be choosing a problem, basically the ideas we're going to be giving you, and we're going to try to solve those problems based on a lot of things, right? We're just going to try and solve problems. Problem solving and software development go hand in hand, and we're just going to be trying to solve real world problems this time. We usually solve DSA problems, this time real world problems, right? The second objective we want to solve is we have right for the project phase is acquiring industry relevant expertise, right? So we have prepared 5 learning tracks, and these tracks have been reviewed by our senior core dev members, and we have chosen tech stacks that we think helpful and really useful during this time, and even in top tech companies. And we're going to be giving you those learning tracks, right? Um, so the third objective that we have is developing technical proficiency for enterprise software development. So we're going to be teaching you ways in which software is developed in the actual world, in actual software developing companies, right? We're just going to follow all those steps, and we're going to try to develop actual products that can actually solve problems, right? That's clear, right, guys? Right. Um, let's continue with uh, a speech from our one of senior core dev members, Yabkalu Asafa. Yabkalu is the project lead for adult. Right. Thank you, Yabkalu. Hi. I'm gonna leave the stage to him. Okay, just hold it.
Hi everyone. So my name is Yab Kalu. I'm the project co-lead for Adult. So let me tell you a bit about Adult. So Adult is a maternity companion platform. So what we do is we try to empower mothers, especially during pregnancy. And what does that mean is, so we provide one, knowledge, two, awareness, and the third is we enable her to track her vital signs so that she's more aware of her pregnancy. And why we're doing this is we noticed that mothers, especially in Ethiopia and overall in Africa, they tend to notice some symptoms that tend to become like a huge problem, which may even lead to deaths. So during our research, what we found is there is over around, if I'm correct, around 300,000 deaths, maternal deaths due to something preventable. So what we aim to do is to make mothers more aware so that they can avoid such deaths. So as my experience so far with adult is, so if you see, this is probably along with Hakimab, I guess, the two that require more domain knowledge than other projects that's been done within A2SV. It's not something you can just research and be fine with, because this is related to health and you can't assume most things. So even during our initial experience, what we did is we tried to understand first, we weren't sure of what kind of value we provide, because the problem in the health sector is so vast, even most of them not being solved with just a tech solution. So we had to narrow down to understand what kind of value we can provide and what kind of problems we can solve through technology, because all of us are software engineers, and that's the kind of value we can provide. So for that, we did our research. We interviewed a lot of doctors and mothers, especially during our the pre-implementation phase. So during that, what I think we did as a strong side of the things that we did is we really tried to understand the problem, and we actually compared other similar platforms so that we can better understand what kind of solutions we can provide. This really helped us, and this is basically what shaped what Adult has become right now. But what we didn't do much is since we're software engineers, we tried to rush to implementation, and we're sort of frustrated, and we didn't do as much interviews and understand like the local problems. And that has become a little of a problem right now, because there are things that we are learning right now, which made us forced to change some of the things within adults. That's a huge, let's say, cost, even in terms of implementation, because some of the things we implemented were done with certain assumption. And when you change something completely in a different routes, it causes a lot of problems, it causes a lot of time, the bugs will be introduced. So I guess what I would recommend for you guys is, one, to try to understand the problem very well. Two is, when you do implementation or when you start implementation, try to assume that things might change. So when you implement it, make it flexible so that when a change comes, it's easier for you guys to change it. So if you assume like certain things, it's okay to assume things, but definitely things will change. So assuming for that and putting account for that, so that when a time or when a change comes, it's easier for you guys to change it. Another thing is, especially if you guys are doing like domain related, like something that requires domain knowledge, I would say at least have someone that you can talk to on a very frequent basis. So for us, we are fortunate enough to partner with Blue Helistopia. There are doctors there that we can talk to almost every day. This didn't happen since the beginning of adults. So there was some time where we do things with just assumptions, or we contact some of the doctors, but we don't get to talk to them every day. But after the partnership, things changed because we are able to understand more about the problem, and we were able to provide more value because they know more about the health sector, about maternity health than we do. So if you guys are doing something that requires domain knowledge, I would suggest having someone you can talk to like on a frequent basis so that you can understand the problem more. So what else? So when you start implementation, so this is the things I think I wish I would have improved for adults is one. So if you guys are working with, let's say for example, for health, there are things that are like a policies and rules you should be abiding with before you start anything. So for health, there are HIPAA regulations. HIPAA regulations is very vast. There are things you do not just in terms of implementation, but there are other non-implementation or non-technical things that you have to comply with for HIPAA completion. But in terms of just implementation, there are things that need to be checked for Minister of Health or anyone, or even in Play Store for you guys to be approved. So that's a huge important thing. For example, for fintech-related stuff, security is one thing. So there is certification that's given. So before you guys start anything, try to read those. Try to see what are the requirements, at least in terms of implementation. What are the things that I need to check before I start implementation? So for like I told you, for health, there are HIPAA regulations. It's most related to like data privacy, the way you store the data and stuff like that. We didn't do that when we started because, like I told you, we're sort of in rush, but at the same time, we're very juniors. There isn't anyone that keeps saying us there are things to be understood. So we just learned about HIPAA regulations. So that being introduced right now will definitely cost you some time for you guys to implement those. So, but if you try to read what are the requirements, especially industry level requirements before you start implementation, so that will be a huge plus for you guys. The other thing is, I would say, choose whatever tech stack you're using so that you can use that as long as you can. That means in terms of first, like scalability. I don't know what tech stack you guys, I think it will be Go or .NET. So for us, it was Node because our aim first when we chose a tech stack was one, how many people are familiar with tech stack, and two, what's the easier way to just jumpstart and have something in production, have something to release or show. So like speed was our speed in terms of like the timeline for us to finish something was our priority. That's why we chose Node. But it has costed us some things because there are things that Node lacks that we are facing currently. So I wish we thought through on all the cost and advantages and disadvantages of what kind of tech stack you guys are choosing. This is mostly for the backend. For the front end, I don't think that there's much problem, but in terms of backend, try to choose something that you think would use for like a long time. Not just in terms of security, but even like there are disadvantages to some frameworks, or it could be like the base, like the language it's built upon. So try to use something that you guys can think know that is reliable. For example, if you guys still stick with Node, one thing I suggest is try to use a framework that's already there. That doesn't mean, for example, for Node, instead of using Express, I would suggest using Nest. Why is that? Because Nest already enforces for you guys to use a certain rule. And let's say you guys completely change team and another team comes to read your code base. It would be easier for them to understand that code base because the things that are done there is based on the framework, because the framework enforces you to do certain things in a certain way. But for you guys, if you guys use something at a lower level, for example, in Express, the way one person implements Express versus another person is totally different. So it will take time for another team member, a new team member, to understand your code base. So if you guys stick to a framework that's already established that enforces certain things, it's easier because whoever is coming next would be able to understand your code base. One, two, it's mainly going to enforce you to use the best practices. So Nest is known to enforce some sort of like clean architecture. that's good. But since it forces you, if anyone who knows needs comes, they know what is where and what does it do. What else? In terms of testing, I'd say even if you guys are in a rush, take time to do testing, not just like post-man testing and stuff, right? Testing. I know we all hate, even I hate testing, but it's really important because I have noticed some things that we changed, but affecting a completely different thing that we didn't even touch. So having a test is really, really important. So when you set up your environment, try to make sure that testing is a part of it as well. When I say testing, you can include like GitHub Action so that it can run all your tests before like you merge it to your main branch. Try to experiment with either CI/CD tools that you guys can use. If you think that it's really useful for you guys, escalate it. If it's going to be paid, don't say like, oh, this is paid, we can't use it. If you really think that it's valuable, it's an important tool for your productivity, escalate it, discuss it with your higher members and say, okay, this is something we need because it does this, we should use it. The other thing is, yeah, CI/CD is really important. I think that's a huge thing because once you start to be deep into the implementation, you need something that you can rely on, that whatever your code is, it's going to be reliable. And another thing is have a staging environment. So that's one of the things that we noticed. So for our production, we use GCP. So whatever in production, we use GCP. But in the middle, we have render. On render, it's more of a staging. We'll experiment on those. And when we're sure that something is working, we'll push it to the main production environment. This is true not just in terms of like the service you're using, but also for the database. The database have a separate thing for your staging, for your testing database, and production database. Another thing, non-technical thing is don't underestimate check-in and check-out meetings. This is really, really important because those are the times where you guys discuss in detail what you guys are doing for that day. If there is anything missing, if there is any blocking thing, don't underestimate the value of check-in and check-out. It doesn't have to be an hour every day. It can be shorter sometimes. It can be longer sometimes. But make sure you guys are really concentrated on it because those are the times that you guys actually discuss. Another thing is, yeah, this is actually important. So have a discussion before implement any feature, right? So let's say you guys are implementing like a login logout. It's simple, but have a discussion. Whoever is doing the backend should have a conversation with the front end before any implementation started. Try to understand what are the payloads, what kind of data are we sending, how is the logistics going to work. Of course, it's going to be based on the user stories you guys have already set out, but discuss in detail what kind of things you'll be doing and document those. This is important for two things. One, even if you forgot how you did it earlier, once whatever you guys are doing got really big and you forgot how you did certain things, you guys can refer that. One. Two, when teams change, those people can refer to that so that they can understand how things are working, right? We do that now in Cordip, but we do not do it as much detail as we do. So I really think it's really important for you guys to break down how you do things. Like, for example, you can do that, like schema design, like just for you guys for final projects. I don't think you guys, is there anyone who graduated from this? You did like SDS documents, stuff like that. Huh? So it don't have to be like 100 pages, but at least for each feature, have like, oh, these are the schema. This is how it's going. This is the payload it will have. And that is the document both the front end and the back end will agree upon. So that would be informed. This is really good even for a new member that's going to join your team. They can understand that. Because this is important. When you start like integration, things will be a lot more easier. Because at least when they implement the front end, they do it in a way that the back end will definitely send those, let's say, payloads. Two, try to don't like the backend shouldn't go too much further into the development before the front end does. Try to do like a page, then implement it. A page and then implement it. This is important because if the front end does so much pages without integration, and when you guys started or decide to do integration, if there's like a lot of problems that occur during that time, it may be a bit problematic because you might have to do some things. So in order to save time, like do things in a parallel way. Like when you implement a feature, it should be like the front end and the back end at the same time. Doesn't have to be like exactly the same time. At least it shouldn't be too far apart. The next is like task tracking. This is, I'd say, the most important thing. One, so that you can analyze like the productivity of your team. This is important because you know how fast you can finish like a certain task, right? You know the capability for your team in a much like quantized way. You know, like for a certain task, you know your team member, which team member does it in 2 days or in 1 day. Another thing is it's much easier for you guys to prioritize things if it's documented somewhere. Either it could be in Trello or Jira. You know, okay, this is my task for this week. What should I move or what should I prioritize today? Stuff like that. So for core dev, on Mondays, we do like weekly planning. We try to see what we do that the whole week. Try to, of course, things will change, but we try to stick to the plan, and we populate those on our Jira. We set like a story point. We try to prioritize things. That's important because once like we start doing things, you know, okay, this is my thing. This is what I do today. This is what I'll do today. If there's something you have to shift and stuff like that, it's documented, so everybody will know, right? This is a small team, so it might not matter. But when you guys go to the big companies and stuff like that, your task completion is probably, I don't know much, but from the friends I have who's working there, what I understood is having your task is more important than anything in terms of your KPI. So what they see is, okay, how many things are you doing? How many things are you doing within the deadline? Stuff like that. So it's really important for you to build that culture. So like have like a weekly meeting where you guys like set out your entire week, and then like set that meeting and try to stick to that. It's not guaranteed, but works most of the time. I guess I didn't prepare for this, so if you have questions, you can ask me.
Right.
Maybe in terms of like what we do in core dev, if you guys want to understand like any culture.
Guys, don't be shy. Any questions for Yavgal?
So during like preparing the PRD, you guys, for example, if you're building something, you know, like the core features that should be included, right? So try to understand what each features are and like what kind of, in terms of, at least in terms of user story, what each feature should include. You don't have to stick to that. The user stories even might change when you get to that to implement it, but at least at first have some sort of an idea, at least for the core features. Features might be added and stuff like that, but having at least an idea, some level is good. Okay, another question. Maybe core dev related stuff. I mean, more technical stuff. I think we have our guy from IBM. Yeah, he discuss more, but in terms of like core dev and how we do things. If you have questions.
Right. You guys don't have any questions? Oh.
Product, I don't know how.
For what?
For the project.
I think my experience was
Okay.
So,
I'm not sure what the question is.
Yeah. Yeah. What about those?
You say mobile, but it is UI.
Oh, I think he's asking, is there a product team?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have a product during the internal hackathon. Yeah, we wanted you to practice product development as well. That's why you did it by yourself.
For the actual project,
Yeah.
there are product team who will at least go through the requirement. But that doesn't mean you guys will just wait for the documents just to implement it. You guys have to be part of the discussion because your opinion also matters, because at the end of the day, you guys are the ones implementing it. So your input is valuable, but there is a product team to prepare that care. Does that answer your question?
No.
Oh, are they,
Oh, for the project phase, yes. I think the documents are going to be ready, right? For each project, we're going to be given for the project phase.
Yes. I don't think the index is parity, but at least we're going to get a mini parity, something to help you get started.
Any more questions, guys? Right. Thank you, Abgar. Right. Let's continue with the timeline. So we're going to be starting with our onboarding phase, and we're gonna start today in the afternoon, and it's going to continue up until August 2. I guess this is a typo. And we're gonna have the assessment and tech stack selection on August 2. So you're just going to be having some introduction to the tracks, and we're gonna have some assessment for you guys to join the specific tracks that you chose, and you're going to take the assessments on August 2, which is going to be, I think, on Friday, right? Yeah. So we're gonna continue with the learning phase, and this plan might change depending on the, I guess, the level of difficulty you guys are having with the learning tracks. But the current plan that we have is going to be like from August 3 up until August 16. We're gonna have the learning phase, and we're gonna have development phase on August 17th up until September 8th. Right. For the track assignments, we're gonna have track introduction sessions, which are going to be held today and tomorrow, and we're gonna have an assessment. So the results of the assessment will be released the next day after the assessment, and we're just going to continue to the learning path, right? You're going to take the assessment on Friday, and you guys are going to start working on your assigned tracks on Saturday. Okay. For the roles during the learning phase, we're gonna have two roles, which are going to be group track leaders and group track members. And during the development phase, we're gonna have three roles, which are the project leaders, team leaders, and team members. Right? Let's see some responsibilities. For the responsibilities of the group track leader, you guys are going to have the responsibility of supervising and guiding your team members, monitoring the progress of the starter project we're going to be giving you, and also you're gonna have a responsibility to ensure regular attendance from the team members. So track leaders are going to have the chance to develop their leading skills, basically, right? And for the group track members, the first responsibility is going to be maintaining regular attendance. This goes on without saying, but let's have it. Regular attendance, successfully completing assigned learning materials, and also actively participating in group activities. Okay. Let's continue with our policies for the project phase. So for the working hours, we're going to be starting our day at 9 a.m. and we're going to continue up until 12 p.m. For the afternoon, we're gonna start at 2 p.m. and we're gonna end it at 6:30 p.m. So the original plan was to have it maybe up until 5 p.m. But since you guys missed a lot of sessions and we need to dedicate more time for the learning paths, we're going to end it at 6:30 p.m. You're gonna have 2 hours every day for lunch. Yeah. So for the attendance, of course, we desire 100% attendance, but the minimum level of attendance we're going to be requiring is going to be 85%. Check-in and check-out will be recorded, will be taking attendance. For the heads up, you guys already know this, but we need you to give heads up 30 minutes prior. It should be clear and concise. If you guys feel like you can talk about it on the group, talk to your heads, but please give heads ups. And we always appreciate over communication rather than under communication, right? Just keep us in the loop. We understand that there might be some issues that might make you not come to the sessions, but we need heads ups, right? And we're gonna have a Q&A session with Mubarak Abdullah, who is a software engineer at IBM. This session is going to be held by Brooke.
Thank you, Mubarak, for coming here today and joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having you. እንዴት ናችሁ? ደህና ናችሁ? ፈዛችኋል በጣም ሳያችሁ ነቃ ነቃ በሉ።
That's true. I have a few questions prepared for you, so we can get started. But first of all, let's get started with introduction. So share with us a bit of your background and how you ended up in IBM.
Okay, so my name is Mubarak. I'm a software engineer at IBM. I'm a backend software engineer. I was lucky enough to do my undergrad and master's at the University of Toronto. And I was here until grade 12. I've gone through the Ethiopian education system, and so I was able to get into IBM about 3 years ago. So I have more than 4 years of software development experience.
And how you ended up in IBM?
Just like how I ended up. I just did my undergrad, and so IBM was one of the companies that I wanted to join. There were people who were really inspiring. There are actually people from Ethiopia who are performing really well at IBM. I don't know if you guys know, there is a person called Dr. Solomon. He's really very experienced research scientist at IBM. And so he was one of the inspiring people, and I actually had a chance to speak with him. And also there's a bunch of other Ethiopians who are working at IBM. And so that was the reason why I really wanted to join IBM. And so I just had to work for it to get into there. Yeah.
All right. My second question is going to be, how do you see the education that we're providing at A2SV in helping the students be prepared for real world problem solving?
To be honest, you guys are really lucky, to be able to get a program like this. And I think if you really have gone through this program, you're going to be able to get the skills that you need to perform well in big companies. Because I work with other developers, and I look at myself, the education that I have, and to be honest, what you learn through working on problems, through solving problems at A2SV, is gonna prepare you well for this, to get to work at these big tech companies. And so I just want to make sure that try to learn as much as you can. Honestly, I know, I have friends who are studying at Addis Ababa University, and I know people who graduated from Addis Ababa University. And so the kind of skills that you're learning here at A2SV, you would have to learn somewhere else. I don't think you would get all the skills that you get at A2SV through the education in university. So one of the most important thing that I would say is the fact that you guys get to work on real world problems. For example, I don't know if you guys know about Skill Bridge. It's a really good app. I actually recommend you to try it. I think you guys will have a chance to do that. And also Akil and the project that A2SVians are working on are really impactful. And this will not just help you build your technical skills, but also the soft skills and understanding of the context and solving real world problems. As Zalalem earlier was saying, here at A2SV, you will be building solutions. You will be building technical solutions which are going to bridge gaps in the existing market. So you are building a product for the market. You are building product which will basically you're building a product for the market. You are not going to build a product which is going to be which is not going to be like you're not just going to be building a product and you're going to be looking for a market for the product. Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
My third question is going to be, what are your thoughts on the best practice that we're encouraging our students to use?
I see. Okay. So with regard to the best practice, like there are interns who have worked in the big companies like Google, Palantir. They're A2SVNs. They've gone through a similar program like that you guys are going through, and they know the best practices. And we also have mentors working in a big tech companies. And so, the best practices that we have at A2SV is going to help you prepare for unemployment or for a job in these big tech companies. It's not just for, getting prepared you for a job, but also it prepares you for internship. Like, if you look at the projects that A2SV is incubating, right? They're kind of problems which are solving real world problems. And you're going to go through the process of building a solution which can solve existing problems. And you will be learning how to create a positive impact in your community. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Do you have any advice for our students, since all of these students are going to start their project phase,
Yeah.
and this is something new for them? They have been doing a lot of lead code problems and stuff, so this is a kind of new experience. So do you have any advice in this regard?
So my advice to you is make sure whenever you build projects, showcase it somewhere. Make sure you have a GitHub account. Make sure you, whenever you work on projects, make sure you showcase it, because in the future when you're looking for jobs, people are not just going to look at your grades and they're not just going to look at your academic performance. They're going to be looking at the works that you have done, and so make sure, put yourselves out there. Don't be shy. And ask questions. Try to learn as much as you can from experienced, specifically core dev team members here at A2SV, because for sure you're going to be learning a lot of things that you wouldn't learn anywhere else. And so the other thing that I would say is, when you are solving these problems, when you are working on projects, obviously one of the intention is for you to be able to learn how to build like solutions, tech solutions. But at the same time, I also want to encourage you to look at the bigger picture, how these products are going to impact the market. And also I want you to think through, is it really necessary whenever you are adding a technical solution, or whenever you are adding a feature to an existing product? I really want you to think about how this is going to impact the market. Obviously, to be able to do that, you need to really understand the problem itself, and you need to be able to understand the stakeholders, how the solution is going to impact these people. And so, yeah, that's my advice to you, and I wish you all the best. Yeah, thank you.
Before I actually end it here, if there are any questions from the audience, from the students, yes. Keep the mic.
Yeah. How happy? How hard? Okay. To be honest, if you do well at A2SV, I don't think it will be hard for you to join IBM. To be honest, I think I don't think it's hard. Maybe it's because of the educational background that I had, so I don't think it's hard, to be honest. So that's my question. And honestly, if you go through, you've seen a lot of A2SVNs getting into big tech companies, right? Like Google and other companies. So, if you do your, DSS well, and if you actually also, work on these projects, if you do perform really well, it's going to change your life for sure. It's going to be, and what was the other question? The process of getting into IBM. To be honest, discipline. If you're disciplined and if you practice problems, and I don't think it will be hard to get into IBM. And I think you guys, to be honest, I really want to say that you guys, I know you've gone through some kind of interview, right? You don't just join IB like A2SV randomly, right? You guys are really talented students. I know you guys can be able to build really great solutions. Like you're gonna be able to. I know you guys gonna be able to have a lot of positive impact in our community. So you guys are really you guys have what it takes to get into these big tech companies. What you have to do is just focus and just prepare yourself. That's all you have to do. And also, don't forget to work on your soft skills, your communication skills. I think that's a major problem that we have in Ethiopia, right? We tend to focus on solving the problems. We tend to focus on like the algorithms and how do I do this, and you like just make sure like how do you also communicate that to other person. So I know for sure like most of you, I'm pretty sure like over 50% of you have the skills and the experience. I mean, the skills to be able to get into the technical skills to be able to get into these big tech companies. But probably some of you, what some of you lacking is the skill to communicate and also professionalism as well. So, I mean, there is a lot of issues with our culture. Um, when you are working in a professional setting, you have to be professional. And for sure, you'll have a chance to be able to learn that through this program. You'll be able to learn that by working with people who are more experienced at A2SV. And I think there are programs which is going to help you in that aspect. So I want you to focus on give it as much value as the technical skills that you're gaining. So just make sure like you have a really good communication skill. Your communication skills is really important because when you're working with a company which is overseas, you're going to be communicating with them in English. So make sure you work on your English. It's really important. Trust me, it's really, really important. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Do we have any other question? I'm not going to let you go. This is. Do you have? Yes. Specific roles and tech stacks you use in IBM.
Yeah, so my role is backend engineer for IBM Cloud. I don't know if you guys know, IBM has also a cloud solution. I know many of you like think about like like AWS. Obviously, AWS is really well known, dominant in the cloud market, and also Google also has it, and most importantly also Azure, Microsoft Azure. So we have a cloud solution, and so there are two microservices that our team is working on, and one of the microservice focus on authentication and identity and access management. And the other microservice that I work on is focusing on feature flag management. I don't know if you guys know about feature flag, but feature flags allow you to be able to test new features that you add to your existing service in production environment without a need for redeployment. So basically, by providing access to a certain number of people who could test that functionality in production environment, basically, I mean, feature flags allow you to be able to test a specific feature of your application or service in production for based on the allow list, right? So these are the two solutions. These are the two microservices that we are working on. And so the tech stack, we use Golang a lot. I'm sure you guys are going to be learning Golang. I think Mahi was saying that she will be teaching Golang to some of you. I don't know which. Yeah, I think it's really important. I know you learn it in Addis Ababa as well. And the other thing is we also use Python, and also we use Kubernetes. So yeah, these are the main tech stacks that our team uses. And yeah, that's
all right. Okay, team. If there are more questions, we're going to have another round of Q&A session with him. Thank you, Embark, for coming here with the very short notes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mubarak, for that. What do you guys think is the next part of this kickoff? Any guesses? So if we don't have chocolates, nobody speaks. That's how it goes. Any guesses? Come on, guys. After all, what do you think? No guess? Anything that comes to mind? No, what do you think is the next part of this? No, it's not. Why would I ask if it's the final part? Okay, so let's continue with the prize. So we had some promised prizes, right? Right, we're going to be keeping the promise that we made to the best performers of Camp 1, and we're going to be giving the headphones. Do we have Emre? Right. Ebenezer Saifu, Emmanuel Tsahai, and Becca Brahanu to the stage. Guys. Yes.
So like these headphones have been waiting for a long time. They are actually our best performers for the first camp, and I think it has been like 3 months at least since the first camp ended.
It's been
Maybe more than that.
Yes.
4 or 5. Yeah. Okay. So we're very sorry for keeping you waiting for this long. Let me hear a few words from you, not very long, and Mubarak will be giving you your prize. Who's going to start?
So, hi everybody. So the campus, yes, it was a long time ago, and the experience was awesome. And after that, let's talk about the second education phase, I guess. So the second education phase was, I haven't performed well as the camp, but it was pretty good as well. And we've learned the last, like, too many new things, because the camp was a little bit easier, like, but the second education phase was more tough, like GP and other things. So that was my experience, I guess.
Thank you.
So hi, I guess we have the same experience. We did well in the camp, but then so we're not doing well in the second education phase. Like so, maybe I don't know, maybe some kind of burnout. Like so I hope we recover in this education phase. Like in this,
You're going to be back in track.
maybe.
Like, it was good, the camp. And all of us, the second education phase was not good. One of the reasons for me was I was preparing for this project phase. So that was the reason. And I hope I will do better on this phase. And thank you. Better late than never. So.
That's true. We can start with Abednego.
I tried.
For a second, please, someone.
You can sound man. You did a lick. Try to look at the camera. I'm really sorry.
Thank you. Take up for the first place. All right. Thank you very much. We have any other prizes? Yes.
Which you will be giving? You're the one who's going to be giving this one. Right. It's And also for top performers of the second education phase, let's keep a little while. Let's keep it for, let's keep waiting for a little while, I guess. Yeah, so we're just gonna continue with our internal hackathon winners, finalists actually. They ranked third overall. This is the Hyperlink team. They're from G54. Malaka Salam Itbarak. When I call your name. Abdul Fattah Ishaq, Proud Mulugeta, Robel Tesfaye, and Jonathan Tizaz. Please come to the stage. I don't think Jonathan is here.
All right. Great job first for your work. You have done really good job. And of course, there are things that could be improved, but given time and given circumstances, you have done a very good job. So I will give a chance to your project lead to give us a bit of a background about the project that you guys worked on and your entire, like the overall experience for the Internet Hackathon.
Okay, thank you, first of all. Overall, the internal hackathon was a great experience, and the team was also amazing. And I would like to say thank you for all of them. They have committed a lot. And then for the first time, we've seen just the project, the idea. It was very big and wide. So we think like we haven't expected this result because it's just a wide thing, and then we think that we couldn't make it to this. But we've committed a lot, and thanks for all the team as well. As a project lead, like I was an intern here, and then I've just applied the things that I've learned from the core dev members. So they've used tools. They've used tools like to manage the project, everything, this, all the attendance and the daily standout, every tools I've used on the project. Also for the management, and also the daily standout documents, just everything we're going to update there, what they've executed in the previous days and what's going to be executed in the coming days. So we have discussed all the day in the morning, we've discussed, and we've just go all the way like that. So all of them they are committed, so that the result is expected. So thankful.
Right. Thank you, Malaka Salam. I guess we can go ahead with the certificates. All right. Great job. Fraud. Great job. Robert. Take a picture, right? With the certificates. Which group are you from? 54? Do we have 54 heads? Heads? Oh, yeah. Let's have the heads in the picture. Where is Ahmad? And Simon? Oh, we have to include Milky then. And Galila? Are you going to include everyone? Okay, Galila, you are the coordinator, I will choose the matron. Is this going to fit for you?
Yeah, should be fine. And if you guys would like to announce this on LinkedIn, I can definitely send you guys the picture. Milky, try to get closer to each other. Thank you, thank you. Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. So we're not going to be having a Q&A session since we already had one with Mubarak. And also, I don't think we're going to be able to have the conclusive remarks from Gokhan Selker. I don't think he's available. So let's just end it with the core of the day, right? For the quote of the day, education without principles is like a ship without a compass. This is by Martin Luther King Jr. Have a nice lunch. We will see you here at 2 p.m.